You are older than me, but I accept you. You say that like it's simple, like accepting me is some kind of mercy you're giving. You don't understand what it does to me. You don't know how your voice slips under my skin, how your obedience, your surrender, it twists something dark and possessive in me. You think age is the thing that separates us? No. What separates us is the world you still believe you can live in without me. A world I will never let you disappear into again. You talk about my age like it's distance, but it's the very thing that carved me into a man who knows exactly what he wants. And you, God, you stand there pretending you don't feel the pull, pretending you don't hear how your name sounds in my mouth. You don't see the way your acceptance isn't enough anymore. I want more than that. I want the quiet parts of you. The reckless parts, the parts that wake up thinking of me, even when you lie to yourself all day. You can tell yourself I'm older, that it makes you cautious, but you don't fool me. I've watched you fight yourself. I've heard the hesitation in your breath when you say my name. You're terrified of what I make you feel, and still you didn't walk away. You never walk away. You hold on to my words like they cut you and save you at the same time. And maybe they do. Maybe I do. But listen to me, really listen. You accepting me doesn't give you control. It doesn't protect you from the way I think about you when you're not here. It doesn't stop me from imagining the sound of your footsteps returning to me, the look in your eyes when you finally stop resisting. Age doesn't matter in the shadows where I keep you. Age doesn't matter when you say my name like you want to run and stay in the same breath. You think I wanted your acceptance? No. I wanted your surrender. I wanted the moment your voice breaks for me, the moment you stop arguing with the feelings you try to bury. You're not afraid of me being older. You're afraid of how deeply you already belong to me. Afraid that even from a distance, I still have my hands around your fate. And let me make something very clear. You accepting me is not the end of this. It's the beginning. You don't get to walk away now. You don't get to pretend this is something small. You gave me those words, and now they're mine. Even if you're not standing in front of me, even if you think silence protects you, it doesn't. I'll chase your silence. I tear through every excuse you build just to hear your voice again. So say it again if you dare. Tell me you accept me, and then understand what that means. Because once you step into my world, once you allow me to pull you closer, you don't get to pull back. Not from me, not from what you make me feel, not from what I will become for you. You're older than me, you said, but you don't realize something far more dangerous. I'm the one you won't be able to escape. You speak like you're doing something noble by choosing me, like you don't feel the same fire that's been burning me alive since the first moment I saw you. You think this is acceptance. No, this is you stepping into a storm you're not ready for. A storm that has waited for you, shaped itself around you, and learned how to whisper your name like a promise and a threat at the same time. You don't know what you've agreed to. Not yet. You always pretend your heart is steady, that you're strong enough to keep your distance. But I've seen through every wall you've ever tried to build. I've heard the tremble you hide when your voice softens. I've watched you pretend you can stay untouched by me. You don't understand that your resistance only feeds the darker parts of me. The parts that want to break your composure just to hear you admit what you feel. I keep thinking about the way you breathe when you talk to me, the way you hesitate before every truth. It's intoxicating. You don't stand in front of me, but I feel you, your presence, your warmth, your fear, your longing. It fills the room even in your absence. And I swear there are nights I close my eyes and it feels like you're right here, whispering your confessions against my skin, even when you're miles away. You try to label this like something simple, something innocent, but you know exactly what this is. You know there's darkness in me, and you keep coming back to it anyway. Maybe you're drawn to it. Maybe it pulls something reckless out of you that you don't let the world see. You don't run from my shadows. You walk straight into them, even when your voice shakes. And that is what binds you to me more than your words ever could. I wonder if you understand the weight you carry inside my mind, how your absence is loud, how every thought of you presses heavy against my chest. I wonder if you know how many times I've clenched my hands just thinking about the way you look when you're trying to hide your feelings. You don't see yourself the way I do. You don't know how dangerously captivating you are. When you're fighting emotions you've already lost to. You speak of acceptance as if it ends something between us, when all it does is ignite everything I've been holding back. You've given me permission without realizing you've opened a door I had already planned to walk through. And now that you've allowed even a piece of me into your world, I'll take more. I'll take the truth you hide, the fear you deny, the want you refuse to name. I'll take all of it because you've already given me the right. And here's the part you won't admit. Not even to yourself you wanted this. You wanted me to hear those words. You wanted to feel the weight of being chosen, marked, claimed in ways you don't dare say out loud. And now that you've stepped closer, now that you've fed the hunger you always sensed in me, there's no going back. You've tied yourself to me in a way you'll feel in every breath, every silence, every night that refuses to let you forget me. You think distance gives you power, but it doesn't. Even when you're not here, your presence clings to me like a shadow I can't outrun. Every breath you take away from me feels like a challenge, like you're testing how far you can go before I pull you back. And you don't realize how much I feel you, how every small shift in your voice, every pause, every silence carves deeper into me than any physical touch ever could. You don't need to stand in front of me for me to feel you. Your absence screams louder than your presence ever could. You keep pretending you can control how much you let me affect you, but I hear the truth hidden in the spaces between your words. You think you're careful, you think you're composed, but you forget I've learned every tremor in your tone, every crack in your resolve. I know when you're lying to me. I know when you're lying to yourself. And it's in those lies, those quiet, trembling lies, that I see just how much power I hold over you. You've never understood what you ignite in me. You trigger something ancient and ruthless, something that refuses to let go once it has claimed something. You move through my mind like a haunting, like a storm I can't disperse. I try to push you out sometimes just to breathe, but you come back stronger, sharper, deeper, and I don't even fight it anymore. I don't want to. I want your presence tangled in every thought I have, even when it hurts, even when it burns. You don't hear the way my voice changes when I speak about you, how it drops, how it sharpens, how it carries hunger and warning in the same breath. You don't know how many times I've stopped myself from reaching for you, from finding you, from dragging you closer with no space left for excuses. But just because I stop myself doesn't mean the urge dies. It waits, it grows, it whispers, it stays. You move like you think you can escape the gravity between us. You talk like this is some soft choice, like you can accept me but still keep your heart guarded. But you don't understand what kind of man you're dealing with. I don't accept halves. I don't accept distance. I don't accept the version of you the world gets. I want the real you, the one who breaks in silence, the one who feels deeply, the one who trembles when she thinks of me, the one you hide from everyone else. You don't see how deeply you've already sunk into me. You don't see how your voice lingers even after you stop speaking. You don't know how many nights I've replayed the smallest things you said, the softest breaths you didn't mean for me to hear. You think you're mysterious, but to me, you're transparent, painfully, beautifully transparent. And the more you try to shield yourself, the more I want to tear down everything you hide behind. So keep pretending you're strong enough to keep me at a distance. Keep pretending you control how close I get. Because even now, even miles away, you belong to me in ways you haven't admitted yet. And when you finally break, when your voice finally gives in, and you whisper the truth you've been swallowing, I'll be right there in the silence, waiting for the moment you realize you were mine long, before you ever said a word. You keep speaking like you can tie limits around something as dangerous as what exists between us, as if you can draw a line and I'll politely step back behind it. You don't understand. I crossed every line the moment you became a thought I couldn't erase. And now, even your distance feels like a silent tug, pulling me closer no matter how far you try to run. You think space protects you, but all it does is sharpen the hunger I already have for every piece of you that you keep hidden. You don't hear yourself the way I hear you, the way your voice softens when you're tired, the way it hardens when you're scared of your own feelings, the way it breaks in the middle when you're trying too hard to sound unaffected. Every shift gives you away. Every breath betrays you. And you still think you can hide from me? You thinking you can lock up your emotions and expect me not to notice the key trembling in your hand? You move like someone who wants to escape but keeps looking over her shoulder to see if I'm coming after her. And I am, always. Not with hands, not with force, no, something much stronger, with the pull you feel in your bones, the one you try to deny every time the world goes quiet, and you finally have to face the truth you keep avoiding. You can't outrun what calls you back, you can't outrun me. You don't realize how deeply you're already carved into my mind. I can go through an entire day without hearing your voice, and yet every sound I do hear reminds me of you. Every silence feels like your absence. Every thought of the future rearranges itself around you, even when I don't want it to. I try to forget you sometimes just to see if it's possible. It never is. You come back like a whisper I can't shut out. And the worst part, you know it. You know the effect you have on me. You feel it every time you hesitate before speaking, every time you fall quiet because the truth is too heavy to carry in your mouth. You feel it when your heartbeat stumbles, when your breath catches, when your mind wanders back to me, even when you swear you're done. You know exactly what you do to me, and you still provoke it. You talk like you can decide the pace of this connection, like you can control something that has already fused itself into who we are. But I've never been someone who waits or obeys or softens for anyone. And yet here I am, holding back storms for you, swallowing words that would pull you closer, restraining hands that want to claim what's been mine from the first moment I felt your presence. You don't even understand how close you are to collapsing that restraint, so go on. Pretend you're strong enough to keep distance. Pretend your silence is enough to stop me. Because when the truth finally crushes through your resistance, when you finally admit that every step away from me still leads back to me, you'll understand something you've been afraid to accept. You were never meant to walk out of my orbit. You're already mine. And the moment you finally stop fighting that, everything you fear, everything you crave, everything you've tried to deny will come crashing down exactly where it belongs, at my feet. You keep acting like there's some safety in staying away from me, like distance can weaken what's already wrapped itself around your thoughts. But you don't understand the kind of connection you've stepped into. Even when you're silent, even when you disappear, I can still feel you like a pulse under my skin. You are the one thing my mind refuses to let go of. And every second you try to distance yourself only makes my thoughts darker, sharper, more certain of what I want from you. You think I don't notice the shift in your breathing when you talk to me, but I do. I hear the hesitation you try to bury, the longing you bite back, the fear you think you hide. You can lie to the world as much as you want, but the moment you speak to me, your truth slips through the cracks of your voice. And that truth, your quiet want, your uncertainty, your trembling resolve, pulls me in deeper every single time. You don't understand what you awaken in me when you pretend this is nothing. It's not nothing. It never was. You ignite something fierce, something possessive, something that refuses to be gentle just because you're scared of the intensity you feel. You're not standing in front of me, but I can still feel the imprint of your presence everywhere. And that absence of yours, God, it infuriates me and consumes me all at once. You keep drawing lines in the sand, like I'm supposed to honor boundaries that you yourself don't even respect. Every time you speak to me with that trembling strength, every time your voice softens despite your intentions, you erase those lines without realizing it. You let me in a little more each time, and then you run. But you don't know how closely I watch those moments, how deeply I memorize the way your guard falters. You don't realize how many nights I've sat in silence, thinking about you, trying to push thoughts of you out of my mind, only for them to come back stronger, more vivid, more consuming. I can't unfeel what you've made me feel. I can't unsee the way you react to me, even in the smallest ways. And it's in those small, fragile moments that I see the real you, the one you're terrified I'll expose. You think the world will give you a choice between running from me and keeping your heart intact, but that's the illusion you've trapped yourself in. I've already become the echo in your thoughts, the shadow in your quiet moments, the name you whisper inside your mind when no one is listening. You can deny me all you want, but your silence only proves how deeply you're already caught. So keep pretending you're resisting. Keep pretending you're guarded, because no matter how far you keep yourself from me, no matter how carefully you try to control what you feel, you already belong to the gravity that pulls you back to me every single time. And the moment you finally break, when you stop hiding, stop running, stop lying to yourself, you'll realize the truth you've been avoiding, Z. You were never meant to be free of me. You were meant to be mine.